Bonjour, hello everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us. My name is Nathalie Brun and Mitia Fedotenko, choreographer next to me.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mitia Fedotenko, je suis chorégraphe russe, installé en France depuis plus de 20 ans. Nous sommes fondateurs et directeurs de dansePlatForma, Nathalie et moi, plateforme de danse contemporaine russe, dont la première édition a démarré aujourd'hui et se terminera ce samedi 10 octobre au centre d'innovation culturelle de Kaluga, en Russie. Nous avons initié ce projet en 2019 afin de développer les échanges entre les artistes de la danse contemporaine en France et en Russie. Ça, c'est le but principal du projet.
Alors, donc aujourd'hui, nous nous rencontrons pour parler de la mobilité des artistes de danse contemporaine qui viennent de l'Est de l'Europe Russie, Bielorussie et Pays-Baltes. Parce que nous constatons que la danse qui provient de ces pays, de cette zone de l'Europe est très méconnue en Europe et particulièrement en France. Alors, avec la création de dansePlatForma, notre objectif est de faire découvrir ces artistes pour enrichir notre champ artistique. Donc, aujourd'hui, nous avons invité des artistes, des critiques, des directeurs de festivals et des conseillers internationaux pour répondre, essayer de comprendre ces artistes et répondre à ces enjeux de mobilité. Alors, on voulait vous dire aussi que dansePlatForma, c'est une plateforme de danse contemporaine, mais c'est aussi un bureau qui va accompagner et produire la diffusion de ces artistes que vous allez découvrir à dansePlatForma pour leur tournée internationale. Donc aujourd'hui, avec nous, les participants qui sont ici, on va les présenter. Donc,
donc c'est Viktoria Archaya, chorégraphe de Moscou, Olga Pona, chorégraphe et directrice du théâtre de Tcheliabinsk, Svetlana Ulanovskaya, critique de danse et curatrice de platforma pour l'art contemporain en Bielorussie, Geoliane Slobodchikova, directrice du festival Isadora Krasnoyarsk, qui est aussi membre du jury. Vadim Kasparov, directeur du festival Open Look à Saint-Pétersbourg et de la maison de la danse Canon Dance. Karine Pontiès, chorégraphe française installée en Belgique. Gintare Masteikaite, directrice du festival New Baltic Dance en Lituanie et co-organisatrice de la Baltic Dance Platform avec la Lettonie et Estonie. Et à la fin, Geoliane Arab, conseillère internationale Onda, France.
Alors, quelques précisions pour le déroulé de la rencontre. Donc, nous allons poser des questions à chacun des intervenants à leur tour. Et pour ceux qui nous écoutent, s'ils veulent nous poser des questions, ils peuvent le faire par chat et on essaiera d'y répondre à la fin de la rencontre. Alors, pour commencer, nous vous proposons de rencontrer les artistes Viktoria Archaya et Olga Pona. Alors. Donc, voilà la thématique que nous allons aborder avec Viktoria Archaya et Olga Pona. Alors,
Olga, hello.
Hello, Olga. Hello, Victoria.
Привет.
Alors, first, Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Victoria.
You're here? Okay, you're here.
Привет.
So, Victoria. Alors, Victoria est une jeune chorégraphe indépendante qui vit à Moscou et elle va présenter la première de sa pièce triptyque Self-Portrait le 10 octobre dans le cadre de dansePlatForma. Alors, so Victoria, we would like to know what are your reasons for your application to dansePlatForma first?
Для меня очень ценно создание тех или иных работ.
Sorry, but the sound is very bad. The sound or your...
Поближе, да. Поближе к
А вот
микрофону.
так лучше? Так лучше, нет? Пока не лучше.
The sound for Victoria is okay, but for the person next to you, it's not good. Okay.
We'll try like this.
Okay.
It's better?
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Like this.
Can you hear?
So,
Yes, okay.
So you can answer, please. So what are your reasons for your application to dansePlatForma, please?
Но в первую очередь меня вызывает огромное уважение организации такого огромного проекта, как dansePlatForma.
First of all, I feel a lot of respect for the people who organize such a huge project as dansePlatForma.
И, конечно, как хореографу мне приятно презентовать свою работу именно в рамках dansePlatForma.
And as a choreographer, I'm very pleased to present my work within dansePlatForma.
Так случилось, что меня вдохновляет практически все, что окружает меня.
It happens that I'm inspired by everything which surrounds me.
И во мне моментально рождаются работы от малых до больших форм.
And the works are born by themselves inside of me.
И у меня есть прям органическая необходимость делиться этими работами.
And I feel the necessity to share my works.
Мне очень нравится развивать, искать телесно, импровизационно те или иные истории.
I like to develop, to seek, to search different stories which appear inside of me.
Конечно, мне интересно делиться своими мыслями, тем, как я вижу, как я чувствую со зрителем.
And I'm really interested in sharing what I feel and what I see in my mind with the audience, with the spectators.
И это особенно ценно, если аудитория подготовленная, аудитория, которая понимает, чувствует и может поделиться фидбэком.
And it is especially precious if the audience is prepared, if the audience can understand and can give the feedback to me.
Thank you. We're very pleased to see you on Saturday in Kaluga online, because we can see you in Russia due to the COVID. It's a shame.
Yeah.
So a last question for you. Another, not the last, another question for you. What are your feelings to be a young choreographer independent in Russia, please?
Мне кажется, в первую очередь нужно быть очень смелым человеком, очень смелым хореографом.
First of all, you have to be very brave to be a choreographer in Russia.
Так как у нас нет государственной поддержки,
As we don't have any support from the side of the government,
нужно быть готовым к работе в большой команде с разными системами.
we really have to be ready to work with different teams, with different relations with the system.
Уметь играть по правилам и, возможно, находить какие-то лазейки.
We have to play rules, play the game, and find the ways to get what we need.
Вот, но, конечно, Россия огромная, восхитительная страна, которая бесконечно поддерживает своей землей.
But Russia is a huge and wide country which supports me by its ground, by its air.
Поэтому, да, молодой хореограф России, мне кажется, очень смелый, готовый бороться и готовый делиться.
So the young choreographer in Russia is a brave person, the person who is ready to struggle if needed, and ready to share.
Okay,
Something
okay.
like
Thank
that.
you, thank you.
Victoria, where are you from? You are Russia or?
Откуда ты?
Where do you
Where
come
you were?
from? Where do you come from, Victoria? Mitia asked you if you come from Russia or another ex-country of USSR, maybe. You
Откуда ты
are.
родилась в стране?
Я могу ответить очень смутно, если по-честному.
I can answer смутно, a little bit with a foggy, like foggy, if to be honest.
Я не знаю, посчастливилось мне или нет, но
I
я
don't know
родилась
if I'm lucky or not about that,
в другой стране.
but I was born in another country,
Совсем
former
других
USSR.
USSR,
Well, it was a part of USSR before,
Да.
in a situation
Но потом я выросла уже в России, в Москве.
in a difficult situation, but then she was taken into Moscow and was grown up in Moscow.
И я очень люблю обниматься с березками.
And I like to embrace, to hug with the березка, with the trees, Russian trees, you know, with the stripes.
Вот.
avec les
attends.
peupliers.
Oui.
Ouais. Avec les bouleaux.
Je vous vois plus. Victoria, you are in Kaluga, no? In the restaurant in Kaluga, no? Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I remind the place. I remind the place. I remind the place. Yes. The last question for you. It's about your experience. If you have an experience to go on tour in Europe, or do you have any difficulties to get in touch with Western Europe programmers? Please. You are a young choreographer, and this is important to know about your situation regarding the international cooperation.
Нет, я не была никогда с гастролями в
I've never been on professional tour in Western Europe.
Я безумно и бесконечно люблю Францию, Италию, Испанию.
But I love France and Italy and Spain and all the Western Europe. So
В 2014 году я путешествовала по Франции, по Парижу, по побережью, Канны, Ницца.
In 2014, I traveled in France on the Côte d'Azur.
И меня дико вдохновляет архитектура,
And I'm
природа,
inspired by the architecture and nature,
цвета и звуки.
colors and sounds of that country.
Я иногда чувствую, что я дома, простите.
Sometimes I feel as I'm at home there. Sorry for the such big words.
Okay. Maybe you can go in France for the dance. It will be great for you to dance in Europe. Yes. We hope for you. Okay. Thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you very much. See you online. See you.
До скорого на сцене.
See you.
À bientôt sur le plateau.
À bientôt.
Maintenant, merci d'accueillir Olga Pona, qui est une chorégraphe confirmée, chorégraphe établie en Russie, et directrice de théâtre en Tcheliabinsk. Elle a été en tournée plusieurs fois en Europe, en France aussi. Ola, тебе слово. Nathalie, est-ce que tu veux poser la question?
Hello, Olga. Nice to meet you. The sound is good. Is good for you. The sound. Do you hear me? Okay. It's okay for us. Olga, can you tell us about your tour in Europe? What opportunities does this provide regarding your international relations, and what benefits in Russia for you?
We know that there are a lot of dance festival in Europe and in France, and in Russia it's only several. We would like to have it more, but it's a lot of enthusiastic Russian people who initiate Russian dance festivals, and it happened in latest 90s and beginning of 21st century. It was a Czech festival who two people ran, Sasha Pepelev and Lena Tupaseva, and before it was several people who also have some very important activity. Lev Shulman in Yekaterinburg, Natalia Fixel in Novosibirsk, Natalia Agulnik in Kaliningrad. So that people, it's completely enthusiastic people who run the festivals or workshop classes without any government support or with minimal government support. And they invite European producers, festival directors, and programmers. We don't have that phenomenon in Russia, programmers. We have a stage, and stage has a troupe, has a company. On the West, it's possible that there is a stage, and people who run that stage are interested to invite anybody from everywhere. So they have to discover the new name. They go and visit some festival, also Russian festival. Normally it happened through the Czech festival. Some European festival director come there and pick up what they decide is interesting for them. That's how I was picked up by Anita Mathieu for Bagnolet Festival in 2004. Then they promote me also with the same piece to Aix-en-Provence, Nicole Said, who ran festival there, and even in Tunisia, in Tunis festival. Also, we visit Chalon Festival 2007. We visit Nice 2 times with Russian Contemporary Art Festival in 2001 and 2006. But most important for me and very interesting was the invitation from Théâtre de la Ville in 2007. We were performing in Germany, in Düsseldorf, and we didn't know that one person from Théâtre de la Ville, it was Serge Perrat, was there and saw the piece, and then they just called us, can we come to the Paris, to Théâtre de la Ville, just for meeting? I jumped to that very fast train and came to Paris. It was a meeting with Serge Perrat and Gérard Viollet, just 20 minutes meeting, and they say that we want to offer you money for new production, and that is how it happened, our relationship. And because of that relationship, I have a lot of places who co-product that, who support it. So I have around more than 20 more performances in Europe itself, not only in France. So it all happened by chance. It's actually by being luck. It's you cannot predict it, how it happened. But because of in France and in Europe itself, there is this phenomena: programmers, producers, festival directors, and sometimes I ask, why do you pick it? Why do you invite? Because it's my job, they say, to discover the names, and also Russian names. It's not only me, and many other Russian artists was discovering, mostly from Czech Festival. And now there are several people who absolutely enthusiasts and work for them festival. It's Vadim Kasparov in St. Petersburg, Elena Slobodchikova, Krasnoyarsk, Isadora. It's Larissa Barykina in Yekaterinburg. It's Nail Ibragimov in Kazan, Olga and Andrei Gorobchuk in Omsk, and Vanya Evstigneev, Zhenya Kulagin in Kostroma. Now it's Mitya and you in Kaluga. So that initiative has big role. It's very important because Russian dancers and choreographers need to appear, to be discovered, to be presented.
Thank you, Olga. And you are maybe the only famous Russian choreographer in France, I think. Thank you. Thank you.
Надеемся очень.
Thank you very much.
Svetlana?
Maintenant.
Maintenant, nous allons vous présenter Svetlana Ulanovskaya, которая уже там с нами. Hello. Donc, chercheuse en danse contemporaine, conférencière et conservatrice pour PlatForma en Bielorussie.
So the thematic is for,
hello, Svetlana.
For Svetlana, so it's before making known abroad.
Microphone.
Contemporary dance still affirms its position in Russia and maybe Bielorussia for you.
Micro.
So, Svetlana, okay for the sound for you?
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you online. So
Nice
welcome, Svetlana. So we would like to know how contemporary dance is being considered in Russia and Bielorussia today, and what is its relationship with international context. If you can answer, it's a big questions for you, very big question.
First, I want to say that the artworks in Belarus, including contemporary dance, are the precariat. In my opinion, the situation is the same in Russia too. The activities are very unstable and vulnerable in terms of funding and social guarantees. Contemporary dance are not clearly marked in the cultural field. Many Belarusians still understand contemporary dance as something from the field of pop dance or dance TV shows. Contemporary dance in Belarus is mainly on the periphery of the interest of state cultural policy. We have a few festivals, a few residencies, various projects and activities. We have a few private dance schools and even a department of contemporary dance in a state institution at the Belarusian State University of Culture and Arts. However, in Belarus has been no educational breakthrough as in Russia, where contemporary dance is intensely supported by seminars and master classes, as well as by the contribution of foreign funds. In Belarus, we haven't such situation. So today we can speak only of a quantitative increase in the number of contemporary dance enthusiasts and individual private initiatives. This haven't led to the development of a contemporary dance infrastructure yet. Today, contemporary dance in Belarus is in a state of waiting for support, waiting for socio-cultural status, for an educational and institutional breakthrough, and for the growth of the audience. One of the vital problems of Belarusian contemporary dance is the creation of a non-commercial organization which would represent, coordinate and support the interest of contemporary dance society. I mean, such organization as Lithuanian Dance Informational Center, for example, or House of Dance, Canon Dance in St. Petersburg, and other non-commercial organizations. The most famous festival of contemporary dance in Belarus is IFMC, International Festival in Vitebsk. This is the oldest contemporary dance festival in post-Soviet space. This festival lasts 6 days and has a very rich program. But this festival, as for me, has a specific problem. Usually, Belarusian choreographer is present there only within the framework of the choreographic competition. At the same time, the festival has a very rich program of performances every night, where only foreign works are shown. This is the big minus of the festival, in my opinion. The festival created for the development and support of Belarusian contemporary dance pays very little attention to this dance. Perhaps due to the pandemic, the situation will change. Because due to the pandemic, the organizers of festival in Vitebsk not to hold the festival this year. But then they decided to make it completely Belarusian, to show Belarusian contemporary dance in close up. And it's a great decision. Another very important festival is PlatForma Forum of Experimental Physical Theaters in Minsk. For me, it's very important initiative because this is the first experience of creation a horizontal democratic festival in Belarus. Because this is the festival without jury, without competition, as in Vitebsk, without hierarchies and other things. The participants of PlatForma, organizers, critics, and spectators are together all time during the festival. They interact, communicate, which creates very informal and democratic atmosphere. This is very good. And this is only one such festival experience in dance, contemporary dance sphere in Belarus. And a few words about international cooperation. The longest and most regular cooperation has developed between Belarusian and Polish choreographers. This cooperation development thanks to the support of the Polish Institute in Minsk, the Adam Mickiewicz Institute in Warsaw, and the Eastern European Platform of Performative Arts in Poland. Belarusian companies regularly participate in Polish festivals, Polish companies in Belarusian ones, and joint projects are organized very often. Much less often Belarusian companies you can see in Russia, and it's a very strange situation because our countries are close neighbors. The exception is Olga Lobovkina, our famous contemporary dance choreographer, who is actively working in Russia, Germany, Ukraine, and other countries. And some Belarusian choreographers continue their professional activities and education in other countries. These are Irina Anufrieva, who lives in Sweden. By the way, a few years ago, she participated in Open Look. These are Olga Rabetskaya and Evgeny Romanovich. They are works in New York now.
Okay, thank you very much. So the international tour is
Olga?
Poland,
No?
Poland, and Asia and Russia, and not in Western Europe for Bielorussia companies. No, you told one choreographer from Belarus. I don't understand the name exactly of the choreographer.
Olga Lobovkina.
Lobovkina.
Sorry for the Russian because it's quite difficult.
По-русски можно? Ольга
Lobovkina.
Olga Lobovkina.
Да.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was very great to have you today. So okay, thank you very much, Svetlana. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
you.
Bye. See you. See you maybe in Russia or Bielorussia, I hope.
Stay here.
Okay.
Stay with us.
Now the next Svetlana.
Je vais vous présenter Elena Slobodchikova. Elena.
Hello.
Salut. Hello. Еще раз. Да, мы утром виделись.
Bonjour encore. Bonjour.
Elena est un chorégraphe. Directrice du festival Isadora Krasnoyarsk. Voilà, bienvenue encore.
On se voit beaucoup en ce moment. We met you this morning, yesterday,
second time.
many times in 2 days. It's a great pleasure for us, Elena. So the question is evident for us. You are director of the festival Isadora in Krasnoyarsk, Sibir. So yes. Could you share your experience as director of this festival? 20 years for your festival?
20 years.
20. Yes. So could you share your experience as a director of Krasnoyarsk
Big
Festival?
Experience.
Yeah.
And rush experience, I think, no?
The story of my festival is 20 years, and
the next year, 20 years?
20 years.
Yes, next year. It should be this year, but the pandemic, it's break our plans and
small corrections.
So if you see on the map, the Krasnoyarsk, it's so far from Moscow and especially from Europe, and it's not easy to organize festival in Krasnoyarsk because many problems which I have to decide. Like the main problem is money and support. And we start from nothing, and now we have a support from foundation, Prokhorov Foundation, which is the main supporter of the festival. And every year I try to invite companies from different places and international festival like Europe, US, Israel, Asia, and I figure out like what kind of program should be like next year before 1 year. And I travel a lot in dance platform in different countries, where I choose companies which I like, which I would like to bring to my festival. And when I invited companies from Europe or US, and we decide like how we can share our expenses of traveling and how I can organize the tour of the group to my festival. I want to say that the Isadora is the first festival in the Siberian region, and usually the participant from the east side of Russia come to my festival, and we start maybe 20 choreographers from east side, from Vladivostok, Khabarovsk, Irkutsk, Barnaul, Omsk. But now every year maybe 70 companies, 70 choreographers bring small pieces and like long pieces. I choose several pieces, like maybe 30, 40 minutes for competition. Like competition, I don't like this words like competition, but it's still the competition, because our choreographer like to have diploma after when they have a result of competition, and I decide to save this format of festival. But the main program, it's still master classes of different choreographers and guest program. Like the guest program, it's usually the companies which you invite from different sides of the world. I don't know, I'm answering your questions, but
okay. And do you work with choreographer from France or for Western Europe?
yes, we work.
Do you have the support from the French Institute or other institute in Europe to?
The French Institute support. I forgot name. We brought French choreographer Karine, last name I forgot, and she make a project with our choreographers in my festival, and we present this product during the festival.
Okay. This is a cooperation project. The choreographer as well with the dancer. It's not our own project. It was a cooperation project between the choreographer, French choreographer, and the dancer, Russian dancer. It's not. It was a tour of the play of the choreographer, because in Russia often Karine Pontiès will register a video concerning its our cooperation with Russian dancer, and we would like to know if you do the same with foreign choreographer.
Yes.
Invited.
Do you invite choreographer to work with local dancer or never?
Do you invite it? Sorry,
do you invite choreographer from Western Europe to work with your dancer, the companies in Russia?
Yes, we.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Fine. Thank you for you.
The next guest is
Vadim.
also director of a festival, international festival in St. Petersburg, Vadim Kasparov.
Vadim,
Vadim,
are you here?
Il est là? Est-ce qu'il est là? Il est là.
Vadim, donc, il est directeur du festival Open Look de Saint-Pétersbourg avec une programmation internationale tous les ans. Tu également proposes aussi un focus pour la danse contemporaine russe, Russian dansePlatForma ou Russian Open Call.
So, hello Vadim.
Hello.
It's okay. Echo.
Привет. Привет.
So Vadim, the question, so Mitia told that you are director of the Open Look Festival, and how do you work with international artists? What is your support for the international artists, and the international exposure of your festival produce a benefit for Russian dancers? It's a question for you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vadim Kasparov. I'm the director of Open Look Festival, which exists from 1999. So this year we organized festival in the 22nd edition. It should be in August, but because of the pandemic, we moved for December. So new days of festival for this year, it's 8th till 12th of December. A few years ago, we developed a program what's called, in frame of Open Look Festival, Focus Festival. Last year it was Focus Korea, and this year we decided to do Focus Russia. It was decision before pandemic, so it's not because of pandemic we make a Russian case, but we decided to do this because we believe that now time to observe more deeply what we're doing, what's going on, what's in general, what's happening. And this year we have 4 days of Russian companies. Some of companies, they perform also in Kaluga, and then with another pieces they perform in December here in St. Petersburg. So if I correct understand question, it's how we work with international artists. Митя, вы меня слышите?
Да.
Я вижу себя здесь на экране.
Okay.
Ну ладно. Since we start our festival, we're presenting more than 250 different dance companies from Europe, United States, and Asia. Also, we're presenting lots of Russian companies, and because every festival have a day of Russian choreography. Sometimes we did special also Russian look program. It was part international part. It was Open Look, and Russian look was it's a Russian companies presented in frame of festival. Each company selected by 5 or 7 experts from different cities in Russia or also international. Probably Mitia also was one of the jury members, maybe a couple of years ago.
Sure.
And this gives us also, we try to develop this platform with invitation of international producers, festival directors, and they came. But unfortunately, from my experience, it's not worked well enough, and we're still thinking what we can do to help for Russian companies to go to the Europe, perform there. So it's lots of questions. What I still try to understand how we can manage, because in frame of the festival, when we're presenting international company, for me it's much easier than present Russian companies, because for most of the international companies, they can get support in their country. The local consulate can support for their visit. More or less, it's possible to bring. So when we invite Russian artists, usually they not get support from the local city council, or because we don't have still this system. Some governmental companies have, like we have the company, like, let's say Pantera from Kazan. Sometimes they can apply for local support to come to our festival. But most of the choreographer and independent projects, so they don't have any support. So festival try to help them, and sometimes it's easier because we got also support from government for our festival. But sometimes it's difficult. This year we situation much harder than before, of course. But in general, we'll see. But it should be an interesting program anyway this year also. Yeah, Svetlana.
Yeah.
You think it's a good partnership with dansePlatForma to promote the Russian artists?
Можно повторить еще раз?
Do you think it's a partnership with dansePlatForma? It's good to promote.
Nice question.
The artist.
Yeah. I think many years ago when we met with Mitia in Israel, so he's got virus from me because I was so active to say why Russian company cannot go to Europe perform. He was probably so inspired that he started to think in platforma. It's a part of also our dream to make a much more possibility for Russian artists to present their work. So I'm really happy that we have one more place in Russia where it's possible to present Russian companies. So it's of course our partnership should be developed, and it's no question. And my colleague now in Kaluga, and she observed the companies, and probably even in this year we inviting some company from Kaluga to St. Petersburg.
Okay. You take tours.
Tours from St. Petersburg to Kaluga, tours.
Kого?
So you will be online for the jury, Vadim.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So see you on Saturday. See you on Saturday.
Yeah.
For the jury. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Sure.
By phone. Okay. Thank you, Vadim.
Thank you.
See you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Alors, Karine Pontiès.
Karine Pontiès.
J'aimerais bien vous présenter. Donc, Karine Pontiès est une chorégraphe française installée en Belgique, à Bruxelles. Elle travaille en tant que chorégraphe invitée depuis 10 ans avec la Russie, avec des compagnies de danse russes. On lui a demandé de partager son expérience de chorégraphe invité et aussi des difficultés et ses réussites qu'il a pu rencontrer en travail en Russie. Aujourd'hui, elle n'a pas pu être avec nous parce qu'elle répète. On regarde sa vidéo. Voilà.
Hello, Masha. Mitia and Nathalie asked me to say some words about my experience in Russia for the first edition of dansePlatForma. I work 10 years in Russia, so I think I have a little bit of time spent there. The first experience beginning in 2009, I did the project of Intradance, and I work with the team of Dialogue Dance with Masha, Tanya, Ivan, and Evgeny, who have a stanza in Kostroma. We did a piece called Mirliflor, and it was part of a big project where it was quite money because it was a European project called Unique, And so I decided to leave all the project from all the money from the decor or scenography in the place of Stantia. So they can buy lights and projectors, and all this stay in Russia. So Mirlifron have the Golden Mask in 2011. And after that, we were also invited in Paris and in Brussels. And we perform 4 or 5 performances. And the 2 theaters by Mirliflor. After that, we decided 5 years after to remake a piece together, the team I chose for Mirliflor, and it calls Pastime Paradise. And it was also nominated for Golden Mask, but we didn't have. But it was a nice piece also. And there I met again Elena Tupiseva, who was following the work for a long time. And she was recently director of Ballet Moscow. And she says she changed a little bit the company, the contemporary team. And she asked me, she says to me, I think it's the good moment you come now. So I came there and I was quite surprised about the good level of the dancers. And I make a choice a little bit drastic, but I decided to work just with the men, also if the women were so good. And I took 7 men and we did Every Direction is North. And we were lucky again and we win the Golden Mask in 2017, I think. And after, it took me 4 years to the company Ballet Moscow come to Brussels in National Theatre. The director saw the video and he liked a lot. So we performed 5 times in National Theatre, 1 time in Bruges and 1 time in Charleroi. So my experience in Russia has been always really good. Also if the daily life, it's quite hard. And you need to be a little bit strong, but you need to be also strong when you are in Senegal, in Korea, in Vietnam, and when you work everywhere. So, but I have I think a romantic side of Russia, and people were really nice with me. And what I can say is I find the color of the dancers, Russian dancers, are really special. And it's something we don't see so often in Europe, and it's a pity because they have really something to say and quite strong. So voilà, my experience has been really, really nice. Also in my last creation, I work with Vera Gorbacheva, who is a dancer, Russian dancer, who is quite fantastic person and dancer. So voilà, this is my little experience. I hope you will have a nice meeting. Sorry if I can be present, but voilà, if this can be. I hope everybody is in healthy with this strange time. Have a good night. See you.
Fine. It was Karine Pontiès.
Thank you to her. Thank you to her. So good.
Yeah.
Présente
Gintare.
Oui, alors, donc, let's introduce Gintare Masteikaite. She's here with us.
Gintare.
Hello. Can you see me?
Oh, hello.
Good to see you all, guys. And
it's a long time, Gintare. It's a very long.
I know.
A very long time.
And is it first platform? I understood right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So congratulations. I mean, it's a huge thing to do it during these crazy times.
Yes, it's a shame to be in Montpellier now. You can see the Montpellier back, and all the performance will be in Kaluga. So it's online dansePlatForma. A person told us it's a dansePlatForma 2.0, 2.0 en français. So Gintare, you are, the presentation. You are director of the new Baltic Dance Festival in Lithuania.
Yes.
And you are also co-organizer? of a Baltic Dance platform with Latvia and Estonia. So that's right.
Yes,
so,
correct.
We would like you to tell us about your association with these countries to create the Baltic Dance platform. Did it develop a better exposure for the artists from these countries? And are you interested in partnership with other platforms to encourage the mobility? Because this is one of projects with dansePlatForma is to create partnership with other platforms. So you can answer to these questions, please. Gintare.
Yeah. So hello again. First, you know, our countries are super small comparing with Russia, and the competition in dance world is quite huge, and to get more attention to our field and to our region is quite hard. So first of all, we started with a small Lithuanian dance platform since 2016, I guess, or 2015. So we were working in a small scale. We were inviting, you know, like maximum 20 professionals to come to discover our artists. And after 4 years of working, we realized that we have to come back to idea to work together in a region, because this idea circled around 20 years. It was a new idea, you know. We always wanted to work together with Latvia and Estonia, and it never happened. I mean, someone had to take responsibility and to do the first kick, you know, and to say, no, we are going to try to create this platform and to see how it's going to work in the future. So it was our idea. This idea came, like this kick came from Lithuanian Dance Information Center. So I'm also leading this institution. And we decided in 2018, we decided to do it together with Latvian Dance Information Center and Estonia. With Trinu Aron, she's leading Solta Mantu Tansu Lava organization. So it's not Dance Information Center, but it's more association for dance companies, and also works as a theater and independent artist. And we decided to try to make it happen. And actually, the first edition, it was part of our festival, New Baltic Dance Festival. We managed to have 78 participants from around the globe. We had professionals from Nordics, from West Europe, from our regions, also from Asia, from Canada. We had strong presentations from EDN, the European Dance Network, also Aerowaves partners, and one network from North America and Europe. And it was like guests were from festivals, venues. Also, we had quite nice bunch of people, like dance critics. So it was not just for programmers, but also for artists, critics, you know, theoretics who are interested to understand what's happening in this region. Yeah, and we presented seven full-length performances, 16 pitches. We had many meetings during my platform. We had 3 days, very intense days. And actually, what we realized, to work in this way, it's much better when to work, you know, separately. I mean, when to focus just to Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. And of course, now what's happening in the world, before the pandemic came, so many new platforms appeared. Actually, you can see what every country is doing, a new platform. So for presenters to travel, it's getting more and more complicated, because you have to choose between, I don't know, Slovakia and Czech Republic, between Germany and France, and so on. You cannot travel all the time. And it was also an option, you know, it's one of a way to work, to connect the region. I mean, to work together. Like one of the best examples are actually Scandinavian, like Ice Hot. They work with all the region. They work with Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, and they, you know, present the best works or selected works. And they, like, you go to Ice Hot and you.
No. There is an interruption.
Technical problem.
Technical problem. There is a cut. Gintare. Oh, it's a shame because it was very interesting to speak with. Gintare. Oh, maybe we can speak with her later. Well,
1 minute.
1 minute now.
Pause,
So it's,
pause. Ouais, peut-être de lire tout ça. Hein.
Okay. So bon, so very sorry. So maybe you can introduce the next guest. It's a shame, but maybe Gintare later. So the next guest is Geoliane Arab. Est-ce qu'elle est avec nous?
Geoliane. Bonjour.
Ok. Bonjour. Bonjour Geoliane.
Tu
Donc,
nous entends?
le son est bon?
C'est bon.
C'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon. Alors, Geoliane, tu es conseillère internationale auprès de l'Onda, donc qui est le bureau qui est français qui aide la diffusion des arts du spectacle contemporain en France, on va dire ça. Hein. Et donc, Geoliane, les questions qu'on voulait te poser in English, because for the audience, so in English. dansePlatForma is also two laureates who will go on tour in Russia and in Montpellier next month. Could it be a solution for the French program? We would like to have your advice to encourage the French programmers to discover contemporary dance from Eastern Europe countries, especially Russia. Could you tell us your advice as an advisor for international for the Onda?
Yeah, of course. First, thank you for inviting me. And it's a pity we lost Gintare. I was very happy to be next to her because we met, to be after her because we met some years ago in a very different context. It's maybe just to say that also because most of our audience are not working in France. So maybe just to say that the infrastructure for culture is highly developed in France, which is a great privilege. And it's really very interesting to see how much there is public support and how much people have worked to get to an infrastructure like this. But also with such infrastructure comes a lot of difficulties of access. So I can totally hear and understand that it is very difficult for an artist working abroad to find it quite hard to get a date in France, even though in reality there's more than 500 venues and festivals capable of at least publicly funded to present international work. So we totally know that this difficulty. And when you talk about solutions or how do we motivate programmers to be more interested in other countries, well, this is what we try to do. This is exactly what our job is at Onda in a way, at least on international level, because we support presentation of international artists in France. And I have to say that it's a very slow process because there's a lot of habits that come with the infrastructure. And there's a lot of systemic obstacles linked to this infrastructure. I'll give a quick example, which is, for example, the calendar, the planning for of programming in France happens like maybe 1 or 2 years ahead, depending on the size of the venue. And very often when we're bringing together programmers to other countries where infrastructure is more fragile, artists are unable to project themselves that far ahead. Like they cannot see where they will be in 2 years or where they will be, where their project will be in 1 year. And this is just a small example to say that there are some things that are linked to interest of programmers in the first place, but there are also a lot of systemic complexities that are also linked to this little presentation of artists from Eastern Europe. What we are doing, for example, and we're really trying different models. Now for this season, we are focusing for 6 months on Croatia and Slovenia as countries where we would be meeting artists, getting to know the interesting initiatives on the ground. We're relying a lot on local partners, and we're trying to gather around this a small number of programmers who would be following this parcours, which we call a parcours. So I think that there are making sure that we link with local artists and local producers is a very good key, because it creates a direct link, and it creates a direct link with those who know the territory much more than us here in France. So maybe this is a starting point. And what you're doing, guys, by putting us in touch also with a large number of active producers and programmers and artists is a very good, great first step.
Yeah. Yes, it's a first step. This morning we have the launching of dansePlatForma with an important guest who are with the vice-president of the vice-président des relations internationales de Montpellier, and good future for the project in Montpellier, in cooperation with Russia. It was very, very great to have this person this morning. So thank you very much, Geoliane, and we get in touch by phone.
Yeah,
to follow the discussion. Okay. For the conclusion.
Yeah, and it would also be good if you can share. Sorry, if I can say.
Thank you very much, Geoliane. See you.
Bye.
Gintare is here.
It's
here or not?
Gintare.
Fine. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
There was a problem, and so okay. So
yes,
you can continue the discussion. It was very interesting to.
Yeah. So probably my main point, what I wanted to say, the COVID showed some, problems in the system. What we're very expanding very fast. We're creating new things, and maybe we don't really think about the market itself, like in Europe, and how we should cooperate. So maybe the COVID will be, and this pandemic also will be like a big step forward to rethink again how we are creating these platforms and, recognition and of a region, and how we will collaborate together. Because what I see and how I understand now, like after 6 months of what happened, how we stopped together and just, reconnecting now through Zoom meetings, Skypes and calls, but we have really think carefully how we will travel in the future and how we will support artists. So maybe to work more closely and more together and more stronger in the region, actually, together with other platforms, it would be like a benefit for all of us, less travels, but wider, more interesting program and bigger visibility of a region. And also it's not about, presenting companies to programmers, but also bringing artists together, which is also super important to know what's happening, in your neighborhood or in another country close by. Maybe you can do something together. Maybe we can create, this regional networks, touring networks, not just to focus to Asia and to fly to Shanghai, or to more to West Europe, which is really amazing, but also more to work in, for example, for us, it's very important to have chance more to show and to tour in the Baltic region and Scandinavia, for example, and Poland, or Bielorussia or Ukraine, because it's it's close by, but we don't really know about each other. We don't really work about each other. It was so nice to jump somewhere far away, you know. We go to Asia. It was from Lithuania. I mean, it was such a big push to work with Asia, and we worked for 2 years like crazy. All companies went to Asia, you know, but we didn't focus to Scandinavia. So now it's maybe time to come back. So I'm going to I'm really connecting with my last sentence, but the collaboration with other platforms, it's more than needed. I mean, it will happen sooner or later. We have to work together, and especially in the region. I don't see other option, you know. If we also have to think about climate change. It's, you know, so many things happening now around. We have to be responsible, and we have to save time for people to I was traveling like crazy before COVID, and I remember our last trip to Munich, where we were all attending, like 500 programmers from around the globe. We were attending this German dance platform, and we all were exhausted after hundreds of platforms, you know, and we saw our schedule. And next week the platform is in Africa, then we're going to Porto, then we're going to whatever, you know. It's like platform after platform. It's nice, but maybe it could work in another way, you know. So yes, the question, my answer, yes, we are interested in working together with other platforms. Also, we are interested as a Baltic region to work more closely, and our next step, it's supposed to happen this year, but it didn't because of pandemic. We're supposed to go together, all of us, as a one name, Baltic Dance, to Tanzmas and Snars. So now it's postponed for the better future, but we want to work together, not separately.
Yes, we agree. It's a reason why we like to be with us. So, to conclude, maybe, alors, avant, quelques questions, peut-être des questions. Si somebody has some question for you.
Our person invited.
Non.
Commentaire.
Pas de questions, no questions. No questions. So, the conclusion, so. Alors, to conclude, please get in touch with us. If you are interested in a partnership with dansePlatForma, Gintare, you can get in touch by email, you can call, but not now, but we are very interested in partnership with you. We agree, and with other programmers in Eastern Europe. And contact us also if you want to program one of the artists they are going to play as part of dansePlatForma, because we will produce our international tour. So enjoy the program online, which is starting at 7:30 p.m. Moscow time, so today, with Olga Pona from St. Petersburg, and Maria Kashalkova from Kostroma. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending our meeting, and see you online.
See you. Bye. Merci beaucoup de participer à notre réunion.
On est décroché. Tu coupes la caméra.